Right then, United have beaten Leicester 2-1 at Old Trafford to go into the next round of the FA Cup. And I should be happy, right? Ultimately, the result is a positive result. United go on into the Cup. I've just caught the tail end there of Ruben Amorim's post-match interview where they was asking him, can the FA Cup save this season? And he gave a really interesting response. He fronts up what's going on. And he just kind of was like, no. Forget about... He goes, I can't think about a cup saving a season. The cup is at the end of this season, and I care more about performances right now. And I think that's the perfect way to look at this. Like, I want to sit here and I want to be like, right, listen, let's find some good things that happened in this game. When I tell you, I am pissed off with the level of performance that I am seeing from these players. And even though I can be impressed or happy with the things that's coming out of the manager's mouth, because I am, at some level he has to take responsibility for some of these performances. Now, people hear that and compute that into me saying sack him. I've never said it about a single manager. I'm not going to be saying it about a guy that's been here 3 months with players that I didn't think were good enough under the previous manager. But there are decisions that he makes that I don't think can be explained or justified. Maybe justified's a better word here, right? So in my preview, I went with 5 forwards. Ugarte and Bruno in midfield, which is basically one defender and one that would probably go box to box, and then your back 3. You are playing against a Leicester City side that have got a little bit of one-up, and when you saw them attack, there was a couple of times that they linked some play, but it was in the middle third. When they penetrated into the final third, it was very much people backing themselves and dribbling, wasn't it? It wasn't a team pushing you into your own box and knocking it around. You didn't need 5 defenders. And that's even with the idea that Dorgu is probably more of an offensive wing-back than he is a defensive wing-back. We've been crying out for signing a left wing-back. We sign a left wing-back. We give him his debut. He's playing right wing-back. And you go, right, okay, but he's playing right wing-back next to, as a natural left footer, next to another guy that's a natural left footer. Like, you just lack balance with it. That, for me, is a Ruben Amorim decision that could have been better. Especially when Dalot has put in an absolute disaster class throughout the entire reign of Ruben Amorim. Like, there's nothing that Dalot is doing that makes me go, he's got to start. And I fucking like Dalot. But he's not putting in performances that warrant him starting football matches for Manchester United. Now, there was loads of other decisions that you go, kind of makes sense. The starting 11 that I went with, I'm pretty sure the forward line was Mainu and Ugarte behind Højlund. And then I had Dorgu and Ahmad as my wing-backs. Bruno, Ugarte, and then I think I went with De Ligt, Yoro and Mazraoui as the back 3. Reason for De Ligt over Maguire, speed of play. I saw Maguire talking about the speed of our play. Maguire's speed of play is absolutely painful. And it's exacerbated by the fact that we're playing into midfielders who seem scared to turn. Every single first pass that Manchester... And by the way, there was a couple of things I was noticing tonight. One was the amount of times our midfield play it backwards. Backwards, not sideways, not flat, backwards. The lack of line breaking ability in that back line was pissing me off. But also what we don't do is play on 1 and 2 touch. Harry Maguire plays on 6 for starters. He doesn't do anything in 2 touches. There is a distinct, like... I'm trying to develop kids, right, at my football team, club. And one of the things that I do is I find clips of the best players and the best teams in world football that are doing things to a high level. they're not seeing anything from United at all this season, because it's nothing that we do is to a high level. One of the trends in world football at the moment is you're coming up against quite locked in defensive systems. A lot of 4-4-2, narrow, compact, difficult to play through. And then what you're seeing is teams using two things to break those teams down. And it's two things. This Manchester United side, again, something that's definitely instructions from Amrin, because that is one of the big changes that we saw from Ten Hag to now, is the speed of play. And the speed of play that we're seeing is there isn't a single bounce pass. We play it into midfield and it's multiple touches to come back. We don't play on that bounce. You play on bounces and you can steal yards. You can move up the pitch nice and slowly by just knocking it. And that speed of play gets you into the habit of moving an opposition around, makes it really hard to pick up, especially when you combine it with the second thing that this Manchester United team aren't doing. We are fucking rigid, boy, right? Rigid, right? Like a fucking brick. There are no rotations. There are no overloads by movement. It is like a B-Tech tribute act to Louis van Gaal football. And when I say it is boring, I'm pretty sure the Louis van Gaal football that we saw was more entertaining than this. And I'm talking about that we went months and months without seeing a goal at that end of the pitch up the top. Absolutely mind-numbingly boring. And I spoke about this before. Someone was like, "Ever, it's all right being boring if you're winning." And on a certain level, yeah. But the performances aren't good performances. Like, they're not ruthlessly efficient. They're fucking boring. And they're boring because it's all the negative things about modern football in one. There's a lack of physicality. Boring. There's a lack of flair. Boring. There's a lack of individual creativity, which I guess is probably flair, isn't it? So I've just doubled up on that there. There's a lack of one-touch, attack-first play. Like, you might play it up to someone, but they're playing it back. You know, one of the most simple and effective ways of breaking a team down is a move that, you know, it's sometimes called a third man run, often called an up, back and through, which is exactly what it says on the tin. Up, back, on one, played on one, little one back, and then a through. Again on one, up, back, through, up, back, through. It's one-touch football, looking for a third-man run. To play it, you've got to have communication, you've got to have movement, and you've got to play on one. And you break teams down, and you break teams open. Manchester United do not play any up, back, and throughs. We do not play one-touch. We do not have enough movement ahead of the ball. There are not enough rotations. And we've just played, again, another fucking game where we've had too many defenders on the pitch. This was the opportunity. You know that Leicester are going to play off the back foot. Put it on them. Play Dorgu as a wing-back. Play Ahmad as a wing-back. Put Garnacho or Xerxes or Højlund and Mainu if you want in there. And let's get after a team. Let's put them on the back foot. Because there's so many times, like the lad I was with tonight, Eddie. Eddie came through United's academy, right? Same team as Scott McTominay. We were talking about what's going on in the game. This formation underloads United without the ball, no matter where the ball is. How the fuck does that work? How do we look like we don't have enough men on the pitch? Like the press is ineffective, the middle is ineffective, the back line is ineffective. How is it possible to be so bad in all areas of the pitch? Surely you've picked one area of the pitch, you go, we'll be strong in that area. And it doesn't look like we are. It makes no fucking sense to me. Congratulations to Harry Maguire for getting a goal at the end. Well done to Xerxes for getting on the end. But there was 3 occasions at least, and there might be more, where we've hit the byline, we've pulled it back, and Xerxes is not in the position where that ball was coming back to. That's your fucking job, to quote Roy Keane. Garnacho changed the game. He's excellent off the bench. He's an absolute fucking pest. But I think tonight would have been the opportunity to give him a go from the off. But with runners either side of him. I mean, there's so much we've not even touched on. I'll save it for player ratings or for 5 things. The fucking hell are we doing Dorgu playing off the right instead of off the left? The fuck are we doing with so many defenders on the pitch? The fuck are we doing playing so fucking slow? Should be happy that we've gone through in the cup, and all I'm thinking of is, it is a fucking chore to go to Old Trafford at the moment. An absolute fucking chore. I'd rather do the pots at home. We're so fucking boring. Comments in a bit. Laters.